I'm back. You missed me. Mm.
What is up, guys? Oh my goodness, I am still on a high from that Harry Potter HBO trailer. My goodness, I am still so excited. First of all, I want to thank you guys for all the love I got on my trailer breakdown. I worked from 3 p.m. when the trailer dropped until 6:30 a.m. Over 15 hours straight for that video. So it is very gratifying to see that it is the number one trailer breakdown on YouTube. So thank you so much for that. But anyway, welcome to Movie Flame. I'm Morgan Ross, and today we are going to look at 13 more photos that were released for this new series. And there's a lot to go over in them. I'm super excited. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and sharing. It will greatly help to grow and sustain the channel. And if you like what you see, hit that subscribe button, and you can also follow me on all of my other social media pages, all of which are linked down below, and all of which house similar content that I make here on this channel. Now, let's get into it. So, first up, we have John Lithgow as Albus Dumbledore, and he is wearing
Oh,
the purple robes exactly how he was described in the book. Then he has the half moon spectacles, another thing straight from the novel, and the matching purple hat. This outfit is perfect. And I love the detail of the ring that he's wearing. That's a nice touch. And one thing that I will say is in the trailer, he had a very different hat that I said looked more like Jude Law's hat in Fantastic Beasts, which I thought was pretty cool that it's kind of a mixture between Fantastic Beasts and the books. And yes, Fantastic Beasts is canon, guys. It was written by J.K. Rowling and are meant to be an extension of the novels, not the movies. It gets a little complicated, but yeah, that is how it works. Then, if we look in the background, this is the entrance hall. You can see the staircase and the other layers of the staircase. That's where the flag that welcomed the first years was. And the big giveaway is the tree right here. They have a tree in the entrance hall, which was a detail that I thought was really cool and made it very different from the films. So, yeah, the entrance hall looks great. Dumbledore looks great. Dude, it's getting me so excited. And then through this door, I believe, is going to be the Great Hall with the 4 house tables. We haven't seen that yet, but I am very excited to see what they do with it. Because so far, dude, Hogwarts looks completely different from the movies. Like every single thing that we're going to see in Hogwarts is brand new. I would actually argue that Hogwarts is as far as possible from the movies and more like the Hogwarts Legacy version of Hogwarts, which I think was fantastic. So I'm glad that they're kind of following that template, but making it their own at the same time, especially with the tree. And there are also bushes over here, I believe, as we saw in the trailer. Moving on to the next one, we have Janet McTeer as Minerva McGonagall. And dude, I love Janet McTeer as an actress. If you haven't seen her in Ozark, you are missing out. So it looks like this is her about to teach transfiguration in her classroom. So you can see that she has her book and her quill, which I love, dude. I love that J.K. Rowling made them never use pens or pencils. It's always quills. And I'm glad that the show is continuing that. I also really like those rings there. That's a nice touch. They added rings for Dumbledore as well. And then looking at her hair, I love the gray streaks. I think that looks really cool. And then she has the glasses. And as the book described, her glasses are a mirror of the markings that her cat form or animagus form has. And we haven't seen her cat form yet, but honestly, these look very cat-like, so that's looking great. Then moving on to the next photo, this one is really exciting because I believe this is Alistair Stout or Ron Weasley at the Burrow. It has been pretty much confirmed that we will see both Ron and Hermione getting their Hogwarts letters, so that's probably what this scene is from. And the fact that he's at the Burrow is exciting because we could possibly meet Arthur Weasley in the first season rather than the second season, because of course he wasn't actually seen until book 2. But yeah, I think that this is the sink in the background, and it looks like magic is being done to make the dishes wash themselves. It looks like he's sitting at the kitchen table, and based on that look, it looks like he's a little nervous, which he very well could be because he's been waiting 11 years for his time to go to the school that many of his brothers have already gone to and graduated from. So yeah, this is making me very excited. I can't wait to see what they do with the Burrow. We might also get more Ginny scenes as well. And if you follow this channel, you know that I love Ginny Weasley. At least I love Ginny Weasley from the novels. Ginny Weasley from the movies was, it was something. It was something. Not something good, but especially that shoelace scene. My God. Also, one thing that I will say about that scene is the thing that follows it is one of the worst scenes in the movies. Having the Burrow be attacked when it was never even mentioned in the source material was crazy and such a dumb decision, especially because it took away from what we could have had, which is more Voldemort memories. Also, that scene should have had huge repercussions because if you think about it, that was the first time that Remus Lupin was in front of Fenrir Greyback, the werewolf that bit him as a child. However, they couldn't explore that, nor could they continue any story arc with the Burrow being burned down, because none of it was even a tiny bit mentioned in the novel. Ron and Hermione getting their Hogwarts letters was actually something mentioned in the book. So it's not out of place that they would add that, like they added the Burrow attack scene. I still don't know what they were thinking with that. But anyway, got a little off track. Let's look at the next one. We have Dudley and his gang at his primary school. And I believe that this is right before they're about to chase Harry. I really like the detail that they wear their ties like that because it kind of shows that they're the bad kids and rebellious because they don't follow the rules. Also, one thing that I love that we saw in the trailer and that we also see here is how much bigger Dudley is than all of the other kids. And by big, I mean tall. Is he fat enough? Probably not. Neither is Vernon. But about him being taller, in the novel, Harry, of course, said that he was the leader because he was the biggest and dumbest. So seeing Dudley so big compared to them, yeah, it's book accurate, and I really like it. Moving on, though, we have Lox Pratt as Draco Malfoy, and this is going to be in potions, as you can see from these tubes and this cauldron. And obviously, he's very comfortable there because the teacher is the head of Slytherin, and Draco is one of his favorite students. I think they really nailed his bleach blonde hair. I think it looks really good. The hairstyle is a little bit odd, but doesn't really matter. He has the right color hair. Also, let's not pretend that Tom Felton's hairstyles were a little weird at times too. That slick back hair still cracks me up every time I see the first 2 films. But yeah, Lox Pratt is another actor that I think is phenomenal, especially for his age. Some of the clips that I've seen from his new movie that just came out blew me away. He is a rising star for sure, especially with the notoriety he's going to get with this series. And then we have Arabella Stanton as Hermione. And we already know that she is a great Hermione if you've listened to the Fancast audiobooks. She, of course, did the voice for Hermione in the first 3 novels. And dude, she was so good, and it makes me so excited to see her performance in the show. Also, I don't want to dissect the actual looks of an 11-year-old girl, but all I'll say is that her teeth are exactly how Hermione's teeth were described in the novels. And I'll leave it at that. Also, they did a great job with her hair, as it's super frizzy, just like book Hermione. But you can see Ron in the background, you can see Harry in the background, and based on this poster over here, you can see a cat and some other animals, which tells me that this is going to be Transfiguration. And I would imagine this is probably Hermione getting points from McGonagall, the teacher of Transfiguration, for answering one question that was probably word for word from the book. And by book, I mean the textbook that the students are studying, not the 7 novels. And then it looks like this other Gryffindor who it might be Sienna Musa as Lavender Brown, but it looks like she's excited that Hermione got points as well. Then we have more of the Dursleys. We see Vernon and Petunia looking at Harry's Hogwarts letter. It appears they're in their kitchen with the most 90s wallpaper and the most 90s glasses and hairstyles. But as you can see, Petunia is horrified, and then Vernon is kind of like, ooh, kind of worried about Petunia. I think that's a great shot. And then you can see these photos, and it looks like that is the two of them holding baby Dudley. Can't really make out what that one is. Really make out what that one is either. But you know that none of those pictures are of Harry, because as the book said, you would never know that another boy lived there. Also, while we're talking about tragedy and the Dursleys, it looks like they are really leaning into them being a little bit more brutal with Harry. We saw that scene with Petunia cutting Harry's hair very aggressively, and then she points the scissors in his face. That's a scene that was mentioned in the novel in pretty good detail, but it took place before we met Harry in the actual first chapter, or the second chapter. And the same goes for the scene with Dudley. We heard all about that, how Harry was a punching bag, how Harry had to run from Dudley pretty often, and it looks like the show is just expanding on all of that. Again, though, is Vernon fat enough? No, he's not. Then in the next photo, we have such a wholesome shot of Dominic McLaughlin as Harry. I believe that this is probably when he enters Diagon Alley for the first time, because he's wearing the clothes that he was in on the Underground, or as people told me, it's not called the Underground or the Subway as we call it in America. It's called the Tube. But yeah, so much excitement on his face, because you have to remember, going into Diagon Alley was the first time he ever saw something from the magical world. This was his first exposure to it. So yeah, having a look like that and a smile like that of wonder is spot on. Then looking at the next photo, we have Hogsmeade Station as Hagrid awaits all of the students. So in the trailer, I could tell that Hagrid was wearing a hat. And now I see that it looks like a winter hat that will cover his ears. Then you can see the Hogwarts Express, and it is exactly how it was described in the novel. And people say it looks exactly like the movie, but they're both just following the source material. They both just were book accurate. One thing that I really loved in the trailer were these yellow lights right here. They're really leaning into yellow lights and candles and firelight, and I think it really adds a lot of great aesthetic and ambiance to the whole look of Hogsmeade, Hogwarts, and all of the magical world. But yeah, dude, this is beautiful with the trees and the clouds. And one thing that I said in my trailer breakdown was I love the cobblestone and how uneven and messed up it is. Because you have to remember that Hogsmeade is close to 1,000 years old. So I'm really liking the direction they're going for with this. And then moving on to the next photo, we have the trio walking through the halls of Hogwarts. Again, one thing that I immediately noticed was this plant-like thing here. This is kind of like that tree that was in the entrance hall. It looks like they're really leaning into nature being part of the Hogwarts castle, which I think is really unique and really fun. And then looking at the trio's robes, I mentioned this in my trailer breakdown, but boys and girls no longer have the same robes. They've now started giving the girls a skirt instead of pants, and also the sweater is cut down a little bit lower as well. So I think that's a great detail. And dude, look at Harry and Ron's robes. It's kind of like a trench coat a little bit, which I really like. They have the collar that can be popped up a little bit. Then they have some cool buttons that's very trench coat-like. I can't tell if this is at Leavesden Studios or on location, but based on this plant-like thing, I believe that it might be at Leavesden Studios. And if you don't know, Leavesden Studios is where all of the sets were built. Then moving on to the next photo, we have Dominic McLaughlin, and it looks like he just entered platform 9 3/4. Again, he has a very excited and wondrous look on, just like he had when he entered Diagon Alley. And then we have Hedwig down here. You can't see much of him, but I love to see Harry's snowy white owl again. Then I love the detail of the tile up here. That looks really unique. Then moving on to the next photo, we have Nick Frost as Rubeus Hagrid. It's hard to tell where he is right here. It could be King's Cross, but I love the detail, again, of the tile up here. It looks really great. And then looking at Hagrid himself, a lot of people said that he looks just like the movie version of him, but again, they're both basing it on the same source material. So of course they're gonna look similar. It looks like his coat is a little bit more green though. And I really like the detail of the fingerless gloves. I think that looks really cool. And then we have the photo that has caused a lot of uproar, a lot of discussion. I understand that you don't like the Snape casting. I'm not thrilled about it. I don't think I've seen a single person say that this is a great casting or this is even a good casting. But anyway, looking at the actual photo, so looking at the background, because there is snow, this tells me that this is the same day as the Quidditch game where Gryffindor plays Hufflepuff that we've seen already in the trailers. In that match, Snape is actually the referee, which he does to protect Harry from Quirrell. And then after the match, Snape meets Quirrell in the Forbidden Forest. So that is 100% where this is. He is confronting Quirrell in the Forbidden Forest on the day of the Quidditch match after the game. And Harry actually flew his broom up to the trees and witnessed this conversation. So yeah, it's cool that we're going to get that scene, which is something that we didn't get in the movies. He has the classic black robes, but they've made it very unique. They gave him a kind of leather suit underneath his cloak with leather pants and a leather jacket. I do like the fact that the leather is kind of beaten up, showing that he's really worn this out. It kind of shows that he's like, no, I'm always wearing black and I really like this black leather jacket, so I'm gonna wear it every day. And honestly, now that I think about it, like he's described to have very greasy hair all the time, so he probably doesn't shower that often. So it's not really a stretch that he would wear the same clothes every day. The zippers are an interesting touch and kind of throw me off because all of the other cloaks that we see and all of the other costumes in the Wizarding World that we see don't have zippers. Like that's kind of Muggle-esque. I don't think that people in the Wizarding World really think of zippers like that. So yeah, I'm not a super fan of that on the leather jacket. Then the cloak over the leather jacket is kind of more like a cape, which is honestly, it goes kind of hard. I'm not gonna lie. It kind of plays into that theory that J.K. Rowling has shot down, but that he is very vampire-like. Then looking at his hair, he does have the long black hair like the book described. It's just dreadlocks. Obviously, Snape in the book was described to be white, and all of the pictures that J.K. Rowling did before she started writing the books and was making concepts of her characters, he was white there too. Because Papa Estiadu is playing Snape in this series, I know a lot of people are boycotting the show. A lot of people are angry. And listen, that's valid. I understand you. I understand your outrage with the casting. I understand why you're upset with it. The majority of Harry Potter fans actually have constructive criticism and talk about why it affects the books and the other characters. And I'm not going to sit here and be like, hey, you're wrong for boycotting the show because Snape is black. No, I completely understand why you would want to boycott it, and that's totally fine. And honestly, in some ways, I kind of respect it. You're sticking to your guns with constructive criticism and valid reasons why you don't like the casting. Me personally, as I said at the beginning of this video, I'm very excited for this show because I feel like the movies didn't always meet the expectations that I wanted for the books. So I'm excited for somebody to possibly do it right. And so far, it looks like they have done everything perfectly besides this casting. And a lot of people have voiced that in my comment section. They said that everything is perfect except for Snape. But I've accepted that Papa Estiadu is playing Snape at this point. I've moved on. It's not something that I'm thrilled about, but I'd be lying if I said I'm not excited to see what he brings to the character. He is a phenomenal actor, which I've talked about a lot on this channel. So I think he could do a lot of really great things with the Snape character. Alan Rickman was amazing as Snape. But his Snape was not at all book accurate. They really glorified Snape, and I think a big reason why that happened is because everybody loved Alan Rickman. So yeah, that's one thing that I've been thinking about a lot. People love Alan Rickman's Snape, even though it's not book accurate, but now they're hating on Papa Essiadu because his looks aren't accurate before even seeing his performance. But those are all of my thoughts on these photos. Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are. I'm excited to hear what you guys have to say. If you enjoyed this video, I have lots of other Harry Potter content on the channel. And right here, YouTube has a new feature where they will recommend the best video for you on my channel. So check that one out if you want. And over here, I have a video where I went over 50 random Harry Potter lore facts that you wouldn't know even if you read the books. That's all I have for you guys today, though. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
Let's see Harry Potter, shall we? The trailer, the HBO series.
I told you.
Okay, let me see this.
I told you. You are a normal boy. And you're going to start acting like one. You think you're something special? There is nothing special about you.
I've always wanted to know about my parents.
Your parents were the kindest, bravest people I ever met. They were funny and clever. They stood up for what they believed was right. The next time I see you, we'll be in Hogwarts.
Woo! I like that.
I
Look
think we can
at that.
expect great things from you. Let's see who you are.
Are you really Harry Potter?
Hmm, not bad.
Welcome back, YouTube, and we've got a special video for you today. HBO Max has officially released the new Harry Potter trailer. So seeing that I'm Zenio D, keeper of all things millennial, it's time to watch this thing and see if they're really cooking. Now, when the news broke that they were doing a new Harry Potter series, I was like the majority of other millennials. I thought it was a little bit too soon. This series ended last decade, and in my opinion, they still had one more movie they could have done with The Cursed Child. But after a couple of drinks, I started thinking about it. Realistically, almost every adult that was in that movie has passed away. When you have that many of an original cast that has passed away, you can't do a reboot that anybody's really going to want to see. You remember a series called Police Academy. Police Academy was extremely funny, and enough time has passed where a reboot would work great. The problem is, the vast majority of that cast has also passed away. So using that type of logic, is it too early for them to recast and shoot this over? In my opinion, no. Now, the thing that makes this HBO version very special is they are supposedly going off the books, meaning they're going to keep it as close as possible to the J.K. Rowling books as they can. Well, almost. Yeah, I know Snape is black in this one, but here's the thing. I'm not going to judge the actor until I actually see him. Alan Rickman is a hard person to follow, so I don't even think it would have mattered. In the books, Snape was not somebody that I wanted to be around. In the movies, you could always tell that there was something a little off about Snape. You could always tell that he cared a little bit more than he should have. But in the books, you can tell this guy truly hated Harry Potter's dad. But let's go ahead and hold off all opinions and let's watch this trailer.
I told you.
Oh, the cover looks good.
You're a normal boy. And you're going to start acting like one.
That's him being bullied at the school. They left that out.
You think you're something special?
Wait, what?
There is nothing special about you.
Oh, I'm pausing right there. Right there. I can't believe I'm about to say this. I hate this Aunt Petunia already more than I hate the other one. Like the other Aunt Petunia, it kind of seemed like she was holding back. The book version, this woman was very, very evil mindset. And they kind of held that back in our original one. This woman, what she just said, I hate her. And this is just the preview clip. And I can't stand this woman already. There's pretty much only one thing I can say about that then. Great casting job, because I can't stand her ass.
I've always wanted to know about my parents.
Harry looks good.
Your parents were the kindest, bravest.
No arguments.
people
He
I ever
looks
met.
like a great Harry Potter.
They were funny and clever. And they stood up for what they believed was right.
That's Hagrid? Wait a minute. Pause again. That was Hagrid. I'm pretty sure that was Hagrid. So I'm not going to complain about the look. The look looks great. It's that voice. When Robbie played him, it was a deep voice, something that you would think of a giant. And that's what Hagrid is. He's part giant. So that voice being normal is kind of hurting. And maybe I'm being a little too picky. Maybe I'm a millennial. This is my shit. So no, I'm not being. But you could have gone a little deeper on the voice. I'm gonna let it go though. We're gonna let it go because it's not gonna stop us from enjoying it. Let's go.
The next time I see you, we'll be in Hogwarts.
Oh, King's Crossing. That looks pretty good. The good thing is they didn't go cheap on this. I love that they put money in it. Oh man, that is very beautiful. Oh, the school looks great. Professor McGonagall.
Mr. Potter.
Man, they've got a lot. These actresses, they have a lot of big shoes to fill. It really does look great. Oh, Malfoy?
Let's see who
Quidditch?
you are.
Oh man, They went all out on this. I'm not mad at all right now. There's going to be a lot of new merchandise to sell. There was Snape, Dumbledore.
Are you really Harry Potter?
That's such a Ron thing to say. I like the new Ron. I like it. So let me break down what I'm most excited about. I'm excited about Dumbledore being played by John Lithgow. Now, Richard Harris played our original Dumbledore, and he did an amazing job at it. What was lacking was the humor that Dumbledore had. Now, Richard passed away after the second movie, and he was replaced by Michael Gambon. Michael did a phenomenal job. Do you know how hard it is to take over for an actor that has passed away? But I will say that Michael's style of creating the character was more on the humor side. There's only one scene that he messed up badly that all millennials remember.
Harry, you put your name in the goblet of fire. No, sir. You asked one of the oldest students to do it for you?
No, sir. The problem with that scene is in the books, that is nothing like Albus Dumbledore. Albus Dumbledore does not trip like that. Now, for me, I'm hoping that John is able to find that balance. With the type of actor that he is, I think he's going to be able to portray that calmness, but also hilarious type character. Now, we didn't hear anything from the Hermione character, who was originally played by Emma Watson on our version. But I will tell you that I was able to find the new actress's audition tapes, and she did an amazing job.
You're looking for the post office, aren't you?
How did you know that?
You've circled the block a few times, so you're obviously lost.
So the positive so far is whoever did the job casting, they have done an amazing job. And the biggest question of them all for every millennial walking around, how can they screw this up? Now, they can actually screw this up very easily. The entire reason why millennials are excited about this version is you are supposedly staying as true to the book as possible. There are a bunch of storylines that in the original version, they missed out on. Like, if you didn't read the books, you have no idea about the Shrieking Shack. To be honest with y'all, the Prisoner of Azkaban missed out on so much. So if they actually do what they say they're going to do and stick the storyline as close as possible to the books, this thing is going to go nuclear. But only time will tell, and we only have to wait till Christmas Day. So thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.
I still don't know about it. Like, uh, supposedly, like the series, the HBO Max series, is going to be accurate to the books than the movies were. Now, I never read the Harry Potter books, believe it or not. I know, but yeah, apparently, but I have seen videos of people like doing reviews on the Harry Potter books, and in the show trailer, there was a part in the Harry Potter book where Petunia like attempted to cut off all of Harry's hair because since he's a wizard, he has the ability to grow it back the next day because he's magic, because he's a wizard. That's what I heard from the books. Like I said, I never read any of the books. But yeah, apparently the HBO Max series is going to be accurate to the books. And I do have to say it's gonna be, if I do decide to watch it, it's gonna be interesting seeing John Lithgow play Dumbledore, because in the movie version, like the first two films, we had Richard Harris play Dumbledore. But but he, I'm pretty sure he passed away right around the time the second film came out. And so the third film, he was replaced by Michael Gambit, and he played Dumbledore through um Prisoner of Azkaban to the final film, which is part two of uh, Deathly Hollows. But um yeah, he passed away too. Um let's see. I'm gonna look up real quick um when Richard Harris passed away and Michael Gambit. I know he passed away in 2023. Oh, it's Gambin. Gambin. Yeah, that's what I thought. He passed away. Michael Gambin passed away 2023, September 27th, 2023, 82. Now let me look up Richard Harris, who played Dumbledore in the first first two films. Oh wow. So Richard Harris, the man that played Dumbledore in the first two films of the Harry Potter series, passed away October 1st, no, October 25th, 2002. Wow, so he like passed away a couple of weeks after his birthday. Wow. Yeah, he passed away at 72. Oh, I didn't know that he died of cancer. Or is this Hodgkin's disease? Oh, he's from Ireland. Okay, guys, I think I'm gonna end it. I think I'm going to end it right here. Um, because my computer is about to die. So, good night.